I would like to call the Wednesday, June 18th, 2025 Business Committee meeting, which includes the Insurance, Finance, and Transportation, to order. Roll call.
Mr. Clyde Duplantis.
Here.
Ms. Buffy Lynn Charpentier. Ms. Tina Nottingham Babbitt. Here. We have a quorum.
Moving on to number 2, Finance. A, to consider new terms and pricing for a 3-year service agreement with District Electronic Repairs and Services and take appropriate action. Let me speak about it first. Ms. Montana.
Yes, good afternoon. This is a renewal or a new 3-year service agreement for all of our electronic repairs and services through AAR. Everything has pretty much remained the same. The labor hour rates are identical to what they've been for the past few years. So this is just a renewal of those services that we have currently.
Motion by Mrs. Babin, second by myself. Any questions by the public for Mrs. Montana? Any from the board? And if none, we ask you please vote. Item passes. Item B, to consider pricing for a 3-year service agreement on fire alarm systems, inspections, and monitoring, and repairs, and take appropriate action. Jennifer, you're up again.
Yes, sir. Again, this is a renewal agreement. The terms and conditions remain the same as they have for the past several years. And the price increase has only gone up roughly about $100 per site per inspection per year. And that's over the last 6 years. So it's a very slight increase.
Motion. Mrs. Babin first, second. Ron, gentlemen, sir, any comment? Question? Any from the board? I ask you please vote. Item passes. Item C, to consider extending the emergency architect and engineering services contract for 2 additional years and take appropriate action.
Yeah, so the next several items are all in regards to our emergency services, and these were all originally awarded during the Hurricane Ida event. So fortunately, we have not had to use these emergency services, so we are requesting to just extend our current agreements that we have with them for the remainder 2-year term that's stated within the RFPs.
Motion by Mrs. Babin, second by myself. Public comment? Questions? Board comment, questions?
I just have to say I'm glad we haven't used their services, and I hope we still don't have to use it for the next 2 years.
Exactly.
Another comment? I agree with you. If not, we ask please vote. Passes. Item D, to consider extending the emergency roof repairs contract for 2 additional years and take appropriate action. We already killed this one, Selma. Thank you. Mr. Babin, motion, second by myself. Any questions from the public? Any questions or concerns, comments by the board? If not, I should please vote. Please have it. Item passes. Item E, to consider extending the emergency disaster restoration and maintenance service contract for 2 additional years and take appropriate action. So it goes another renewal, correct, or extension? Motion by Mrs. Babin, second by myself. Public comment? Board comment? Questions? Please vote. Motion passes. Item F, to consider extending the emergency debris monitoring and management contract for 2 additional years and take appropriate action. Any comment? Nope.
Just
Okay.
another
Mrs.
extension.
Badman? Another extension. Motion by Mrs. Badman, second by myself. For public comment? Board comment, concerns, questions? Please vote. Motion passes. Item G, to consider extending the emergency debris removal service contract for 2 additional years and take appropriate action. Motion by Mrs. Babin, second by myself. Public comment, concerns, questions? Board comment, concerns, questions?
I just have one question. What's the difference between removal and the one before that, monitoring?
Yes, ma'am. So, FEMA requires that if you have debris removal services being conducted, that you also have a separate company monitoring the amount, the cubic footage, the yardage of the debris being removed, so that the services being requested are actually being monitored by somebody else so that they're appropriately billed. This is a required FEMA function.
I'm just one, I never saw that before.
If you watch during a hurricane, you'll see the debris truck picking up. There's a Ford Taurus with somebody sitting behind it just watching and cataloging what they're putting in the vehicle. It's not necessarily
I mean,
Ford
I've
Taurus.
seen them, but I didn't know that's what it was.
These two companies have a very long history of working together, so they're very aware.
I'm gonna pay for both of them.
In the face for both of us.
Any other concerns, questions, comments? Okay, please vote. Item passes. Item H, to consider entering into a new 3-year agreement on leased equipment through AAR for 2-way radios and take appropriate action.
Yes, again, we renewed or entered into a new agreement for, 2-way radios at all of our school sites. And this went through our safety department, and Mr. Jared Bro was able to get all of our models updated from analog to digital. It does some money. So we're excited to enter into this new agreement for a new 3 years.
Motion please, Mrs. Babin, and I'll second it. Comment from public, concerns?
Just a question, since we're moving from analog to digital, it's gonna be all new radios?
I do believe so. The ones that we're changing out currently.
Yes, ma'am. So we had roughly 8 sites that were still analog. And in this new agreement, we're able to swap those over to digital, but they will be new radios.
Any other questions, concerns, comments by the board? If none, I ask you to please vote. Motion passes. Item I, to consider authorizing President Marion Fertitta and Superintendent Jared Martin to sign the 2024-2025 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire by adopting the Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire Resolution and to submit a copy of the questionnaire to Eisner Amper, the board independent auditor. Motion by Mr. Bowman, second by myself. And that would be Mrs. Email.
So, this actual, document is, for us to begin our 2024-2025 audit. And, so this is just getting this out there so they can start the process. And so we're just recommending, that you, authorize Ms. Marion Fertitta, President Marion Fertitta and Superintendent Martin to sign, the questionnaire as well as the resolution and submit it to our, independent auditing firm, Eisner.
Do you have a motion? Motion, Mr. Bowman, second by, we did that, okay. You're standing up, so I guess public comment, Mr. Ron,
Thank
please.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Once again.
Ron Soppy, 110 Boulevard Street, Grayson, Louisiana, 70394. I just noticed on the questionnaire that there's a lot of different things left blank. But first, for the public, I want them to be aware that there's like 3 options of answers. There's no, yes, and not applicable. And I see that there's a bunch of them that have no X on them.
Yes, so those did not apply to us because a lot of those are for various other organizations and not school boards. So
Okay.
that's why I did.
So you still don't answer the question? I just find that kind of odd because if I'm taking a test and it says A, B, C, or D, I don't answer one of the letters, I get it wrong.
I mean, you're not at liberty to answer, because you did provide us with an answer that I would have asked also. If it doesn't pertain to us, we just don't,
I just,
it doesn't.
thank you.
And A could actually probably bring up more questions about what all of it. All right. Any additional comments from the public? Concerns, questions? If not, school board? If not, I should please vote. And it does, motion passes. Item J, to receive monthly budget to actual report for all major funds for the period to May 31st, 2025. This is email.
Again, tonight we are presenting our monthly budget to actual reports. The major funds for 2025 were the general fund, the 1995 sales tax salary restricted fund, the salary supplement fund, the 2021 construction funds, and the hurricane recovery fund. Activities through the month ending May 31st, 2025 include the general fund. As indicated on page 3 of the statement, 90.2% of the revenue budgeted has been received for a total of $104,790,689. Of this amount, $70.76 million is the minimum foundation program funding. As indicated on page 20 of the statement, 87.8% of the expenditures budgeted has been expended or obligated for a total of $138,569,021. The 1995 sales tax salary restricted fund, as indicated on page 21, 80.6% of the revenue budgeted has been received, totaling $10,136,915, and 100.4% of the budgeted expenditures, totaling $9,864, has been expended. The salary supplement fund, as indicated on page 23, 100.4% of the revenue budgeted has been received, totaling $6,248,928, and 98.2% of the budgeted expenditures, totaling $207,026, has been expended.
All right, thank you for that report. Thank you for that report. Item K, to receive financial report on Hurricane Ida response and recovery to date. Mrs. Email.
As of May 31st, the report indicates, we have spent encumbered expenditures totaling $150,852,891. FEMA reimbursements of $3,030,035 were received in May of 2025. The total aggregate reimbursement from FEMA through May of 2025 was $67,723,185, and of this amount, $17,723,185 has been submitted to Hancock Whitney as payment of interest and principal on the hurricane loan. The total amount submitted for reimbursement and the total amount obligated by FEMA is $82,805,407.
Item L, to receive a report on audit findings from the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report.
There is not much to report on the findings as of right now. Item number 1, I did present to y'all budget amendments in May, which was approved in June. So those should put us in compliance with the budget laws. Item number 2, that was item number 2. Item number 1 will be reviewed. We're preparing ourselves for the upcoming audit, and so hopefully what we're doing will take care of those issues. And then audit finding number 3, we are still waiting to gather the necessary reports and information that they're needed. The companies that we need to receive this from have not posted them yet, so we will be, keeping our eye out for those.
Thank you for that report. All right, moving on to item 3, area transportation, to receive a report of the transportation events in the previous month. This is email.
So, Mr. Arnold provided a copy of his report to y'all. He did a training in the month of June, where he had 5 people in attendance. And then, he is continuing his trainings with, Tyler Technologies and her student for the routing software. And, all of the buses were installed with the hardware, actually the stand to hold the hardware for the routing software last week. So in his personnel, he is still at 91 full-time drivers, 7 retirees have been recommended for rehire, and he has 7 full-time bus monitors.
Thank you for that report. Anything on the progress of the bus station? I think those that pass it frequently.
Yes, I mean, they're still doing a lot of the civil work. They haven't started building yet. It looks like, might have been home in 4 days, but the last time I drove Yes, sir. All the pilots are doing it.
All right, well, that's good.
And Daniel's gonna be here tonight for the next meeting.
Excellent, wonderful. With any other business brought forward before the committee, I adjourn the meeting.